Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk English Daily Podcast. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining us. This podcast is designed especially for English beginners who want to improve their listening skills while learning about real-life topics. My name is Alan, and I'll be your host today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kate. I'm really happy you're listening today because this episode is about something we all think about almost every day, even if we don't talk about it very much. Today, we're talking about money, daily expenses, and how to manage money in a simple and realistic way.
Yes, and I want to say something important before we start. This is not a lesson where we tell you what you must do. This is just a real conversation between two people who have made mistakes, learned lessons, and are still learning.
Exactly. We want this episode to feel like you're sitting with us, listening to a relaxed conversation. You don't need to understand every word. Just listen, relax, and let your English grow naturally.
Kate, I want to start this episode by being very honest. Money is something that often makes me feel stressed. At the beginning of every month, I feel okay and confident, but slowly, day by day, my money disappears. Then suddenly I realize I don't have much left.
That feeling is very common, Alan. When you notice your money is almost gone, what's the first thought that comes to your mind?
The first thing I think is, how did this happen so fast? I don't remember buying anything expensive, and I don't feel like I wasted money. But still, the result is the same every month.
That confusion is something many people experience. They feel responsible, but they don't clearly see the problem. And when you don't see the problem, it's very hard to fix it.
If you're listening right now and thinking, this sounds exactly like me, I want you to know something. You are not bad with money, and you are not alone in this situation.
Yes, and that's very important to hear. Many people feel ashamed when they have money problems, but the truth is, most people were never taught how to manage money properly.
That's true. We learn math at school, but we don't learn how to manage our salary, our daily expenses, or our savings.
Exactly. Money management is a life skill, just like communication or time management, and life skills can be learned slowly, step by step.
When I look at my daily life, I realize something interesting. Most of my spending happens automatically. I don't really think before I buy something. I just do it because it feels normal.
That's a very honest observation. Can you give an example from a normal day?
Sure. In the morning, I buy coffee on my way to work. At lunch, I often eat outside because it's easy. In the afternoon, I buy a snack because I feel tired. None of these feel like big decisions.
And that's the key point. Each decision feels small and harmless, but when you repeat them every day, they become a big expense at the end of the month.
So would you say small expenses are more dangerous than big ones?
In many situations, yes. Big expenses usually happen once and you remember them. Small expenses happen many times and you forget them very easily.
That explains why I always remember paying rent, but I never remember how much I spend on coffee or snacks.
Exactly. And this is why people often say, I don't know where my money goes. The money goes to small, repeated habits.
So, Kate, after talking about small daily spending, I feel like I understand the problem better. But now I'm thinking about the solution. If someone wants to change their money habits, what is the very first thing they should actually do in real life?
That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked it this way. The first step is not saving, not budgeting, and not stopping spending. The first step is simply tracking your expenses. You need to see your money clearly before you can control it.
When you say tracking expenses, I imagine something very serious like spreadsheets or complicated apps. That honestly makes me feel a little tired already.
I understand that feeling. Many beginners think tracking expenses is difficult, but it doesn't need to be. You don't need technology or special skills. You only need honesty and consistency.
So it's more about awareness than tools.
Exactly. Awareness comes first. Once you are aware of how you spend money, change becomes much easier.
Let's imagine a beginner is listening right now. They might be thinking, I'm not good with numbers, or I don't like writing things down. What would you say to them?
I would say this. You don't need to be good with numbers. You're not doing math. You're just writing simple information, what you bought and how much it cost. That's all.
So, no calculations at the beginning?
No calculations at all. At first, just record the information. You can use a notebook, a piece of paper, or the Notes app on your phone. The important thing is to do it every day.
That sounds much easier than I imagined.
Yes, and when something feels easy, you are more likely to keep doing it.
Okay, let me try to walk through a normal day and see if I understand this correctly. I wake up, buy coffee for $2 and write it down. Later, I eat lunch for $4 and write that down too.
Yes, that's perfect. And if you buy a snack, take a taxi, or order something online, you write those down as well.
Even if it's just $1?
Especially if it's $1. Small amounts are the easiest to forget, but they're often the biggest problem.
I think I'm starting to understand. It's not about judging the spending. It's just about recording it honestly.
Exactly. No judging, no blaming, just observing your behavior, like watching yourself from the outside.
So let's say I do this for one full week. I write down everything I spend. What usually happens next?
After 1 week, most people feel surprised. They start noticing patterns. For example, they realize they buy snacks every afternoon or eat outside more often than they thought.
That sounds a little uncomfortable, but also interesting.
Yes, it can feel uncomfortable at first, but this moment is very powerful because now you understand your habits. Before, the problem felt invisible. Now, it's clear.
So this is the moment when change becomes possible.
Exactly. You cannot change what you don't see. Tracking expenses helps you see clearly.
Once someone can see their spending clearly, what should they think about next?
The next step is understanding the difference between needs and wants. This is very important for beginners because it helps you make better decisions without feeling guilty.
Can you explain needs and wants again, but in a very slow and simple way?
Of course, needs are things you must have to live a basic life. For example, food to eat, a place to live, transportation to work, and basic bills. Wants are things that make life more enjoyable, but you can live without them.
So eating food is a need, but eating at a restaurant every day is a want?
Exactly. You still need food, but you don't always need the most expensive or convenient option. Understanding this difference helps you choose more wisely, not more strictly.
I like that. It doesn't sound like punishment. It sounds like balance.
That's the goal. Money management is not about suffering. It's about balance and awareness.
When we talk about wants, I realize something important. Many wants are connected to comfort and feelings, not just objects. For example, when I buy coffee outside, it's not only about the coffee, it's also about convenience and feeling relaxed.
That's a very good observation. Many people think wants are only about shopping or buying things, but actually, many wants are about feelings. We want comfort, ease, or a small reward after a long day.
So when I buy coffee outside, I'm really buying comfort and time, not just a drink.
Exactly. And understanding that helps you make better choices. You don't need to remove comfort from your life. You just need to find cheaper or smarter ways to get it.
That makes the idea of cutting expenses feel less scary.
Yes, because you're not losing happiness, you're just changing how you get it.
One thing I worry about is this. If I reduce my spending, will my life feel boring or uncomfortable?
That's a very honest worry, and many people feel the same way. But reducing spending doesn't mean removing all joy from your life. It means choosing your joy more carefully.
Can you give an example?
Sure.
Instead of buying coffee every morning, you might buy it 2 or 3 times a week and make coffee at home on other days. You still enjoy coffee, but you spend less money.
That sounds more realistic than stopping completely.
Exactly. When change feels realistic, you can keep doing it long term.
Now that we've talked about needs and wants, I feel like budgeting makes more sense. Before, the word budget made me nervous.
Many beginners feel that way, but budgeting is simply planning your money before you spend it, instead of wondering where it went after.
So budgeting is more about control than restriction.
Yes, that's a great way to explain it. A budget gives you control and clarity. It helps you feel calm because you already know what your money is for.
I like the idea of feeling calm about money.
Most people do. That's why budgeting can actually reduce stress.
Let's build a very simple budget together, step by step, like we're explaining it to a beginner.
Okay, let's do that. First, you look at your income. This is the money you receive in a month.
Then you decide how much goes to important needs, like rent, food, and transportation.
Yes. After that, you decide how much money you want to save, even if it's a small amount.
And the rest can be for personal spending and enjoyment.
Exactly. When you plan like this, you can enjoy spending money without guilt because it's already part of the plan.
I want to talk more about saving because honestly, this is the hardest part for me. I understand the idea, but in real life, saving feels very difficult.
You're not alone. Saving feels difficult because it doesn't give you an immediate reward. When you spend money, you feel good right away. When you save money, the reward comes later.
That explains why my brain prefers spending.
Exactly. Our brains like quick rewards. That's why saving needs a simple system and strong habits, not just motivation.
So saving is less about willpower and more about habits.
Yes, when saving becomes automatic, it feels much easier.
You mentioned that saving should become automatic, not something we think about every day. Can you explain that more? How can beginners make saving automatic?
Of course. When I say automatic, I mean saving before you have time to spend the money. When you receive your salary or income, you immediately move a small amount to savings. This way, saving happens first, not last.
So instead of saving what's left at the end of the month, I save at the beginning.
Exactly. Most people try to save what's left, but usually nothing is left. Saving first changes the order, and that changes everything.
That sounds simple, but also very powerful.
It is. Even saving a very small amount regularly builds confidence and discipline over time.
I think some beginners might be asking, how much should I save? They might feel pressure to save a big amount.
That's a great question. For beginners, the amount is not the most important thing. The habit is more important. You can start with a very small amount, even just a few dollars.
So it's okay if the number feels small?
Absolutely. Small savings are better than no savings. When saving becomes a habit, you can slowly increase the amount later.
That feels encouraging, not stressful.
That's exactly how saving should feel. Encouraging, not scary.
Earlier, we talked a little about emotional spending. I want to understand that more because I think it affects many people.
Yes, emotional spending is very common. It often happens when we feel stressed, tired, lonely, or even bored. Buying something can feel like a quick way to feel better.
I notice that when I have a hard day, I want to order food or buy something online, even if I don't really need it.
That's a perfect example. The spending is not about the item. It's about changing how you feel in that moment.
So the problem is not money, but emotions.
Exactly. And that's why emotional spending can be hard to control.
So when someone feels emotional and wants to buy something, what can they do in that moment?
One very helpful habit is to pause before buying. Instead of buying immediately, stop for a moment and ask yourself a simple question.
What kind of question?
You can ask, do I really need this right now, or am I just trying to feel better?
Even a short pause can change your decision.
That pause gives you time to think, not just react.
Exactly. Over time, that pause becomes a strong habit and helps you save money without feeling forced.
Do you think it's helpful to talk about money with other people, like family or close friends?
Yes, I do, as long as it's someone you trust. Talking about money can feel uncomfortable at first, but it helps you learn and feel supported.
I think keeping money problems secret makes them feel heavier.
That's very true. When you talk about money, it becomes less scary. You realize that many people have the same struggles, and you can learn from each other.
So money conversations can actually reduce stress.
Yes, when done in a healthy and respectful way.
After talking through all of this, I realized something important. Managing money is not about being perfect. It's more about building habits and understanding yourself.
That's exactly right. Many people think they need to be perfect with money, but that idea actually stops them from starting. Good money management is about progress, not perfection.
So making small mistakes is normal?
Yes, very normal. Mistakes help you learn. What matters is noticing them and slowly adjusting your habits.
That idea feels very realistic, especially for beginners.
And realistic habits are the ones that last.
If a beginner is listening now, they might feel motivated, but also a little overwhelmed by all the information.
That's completely okay. You don't need to change everything today. In fact, trying to change everything at once often leads to giving up.
So what should they focus on first?
Just one thing. For example, start by tracking expenses for 1 week. That single action can already change how you think about money.
One small step feels much easier than a big plan.
Exactly. Big changes start with small steps.
I really like that this topic helps people in two ways. They're improving their English, and at the same time, they're learning a life skill they can use every day.
Yes, and that's very important. Language learning becomes much more powerful when it connects to real life. When you understand the topic, the English becomes easier to remember.
So listeners are not just learning words, they're learning how to talk about their own life.
Exactly. And that makes English feel useful, not just academic.
Before we end, I want to say this to our listeners. If money has been a stressful topic for you, please remember that change takes time.
Yes, be kind to yourself. You don't need to compare yourself to others. Everyone's financial journey is different.
Awareness is already a big step forward.
And every small habit you build today helps your future self.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today and listening to this conversation.
We really hope this episode helped you feel more confident about money and daily expenses.
Remember, practice your English by listening again, repeating sentences, and thinking about how these ideas fit your own life.
Yes, and don't forget, learning English and improving your life can happen at the same time.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone. Bye for now.